Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Hi guys. Well, what are we on? Episode like 9. I'm quite excited about this episode in particular. If you've read from the title, this is gonna be a Kiki's Delivery Service episode. But let me just do my. Should I talk first? Should I do some small talk? Should I do my intro? Let's do some small talk before I do my intro and like do the podcast, right? So right now, for at the time of recording this, it's like the Easter holidays for like UK kids or UK kids. And that would be great, that would be excellent. If only if it wasn't for GCSEs. They're right around the corner for me, little old me. So most of this Easter is spent like revising, revision. Sometimes I have good revision days, sometimes I have bad revision days. Not as in like I don't do anything, it's just like sometimes when I'm doing revision, I'm like, yeah, I'm getting all of this. I don't know if it's because I'm revising easy stuff or stuff I know, or if it's just my brain that day is just like in top peak condition. But nevertheless, that's not the point. Every day should be a good revision day because I am trying to get my good grades, you know. But it's been a bit tiring, but I've been trying to make the most of the holiday, like being able to sleep longer and like not have time to record this episode. Maybe I'll do two this Easter. Maybe I'll record two this Easter. I don't really know because I don't want to pre-record stuff like really, really far ahead, or else it'll like by the time I release it, it'll be like. But I will probably have to pre-record some stuff for like the exam period because I literally won't have time to like produce any. I might have time to edit, but I won't have time to record and stuff. So I'll do my best. I'll try my best. So if I go like radio silent for like 3 months, you know, you know why. But yeah, just deceased on the 16th of May. It's quite a scary time. Don't know how I'm gonna do, but I think I'll be fine. But anyway, let's get into the bulk of this episode. Hi, I'm Angela. I like anime. So anyway, let's talk about it. So, Kiki's Delivery Service. Well, this is my first Studio Ghibli episode. I was like thinking I might do one, but I was like, I'm not sure because it takes a lot of a lot of like well not actually no, I don't know. I just know a lot of people love these movies, so I was like, I don't want to like do not do them justice by doing an episode on them, which is some of the reasons why I don't do like really big shonen. And I know I literally just did an episode about Jujutsu Kaisen, but that's different because that was the movie, and I had so many thoughts about the movie, so I had to talk about that. Plus, it was relevant, and I've got to stay on top of my relevancy. Like, um, if I can, why not? Anyway, um, so yeah, Kiki's Delivery Service. Honestly, I'll probably say this now, but like I'll probably change my mind like later. But I think that this is one of like my favorite Studio Ghibli movies. Like recently, I watched like two anime movies. Because my friend was bugging me. She was like, Angie, why don't you finish all the Studio Ghibli movies? And I was like, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna like speed run because that's what I did when I like first watched anime. I like speed ran like so many anime that I can't even remember half the anime like plots that I watched in like the first 2 or 3 months or whatever. So I was like, I know everybody loves the Studio Ghibli movies, so I'm gonna like take my time to just like savor them as if they're food, but you know what I mean? Like not just speed run up through all the Studio Ghibli movies because I'll forget what they're about. So recently when I was getting my hair done, I watched Princess Mononoke. Yeah, and that was really good. But we have internet problems downstairs because we moved to our house is like really big, so like it kept buffering. But it was really fun to watch. But it was good. And then today, as we're recording this, I watched Belle. I know I always mention her, Lara. She was like when it first came out, she was like, guys, what if Belle is so good? And I knew it wasn't gonna be bad. I knew it was gonna be good, but I was like, I'm just gonna wait a bit before I watch it. And by a bit, I meant like 3, 5 months. But I finally watched it, and that was really good. Maybe I'll make an episode about that. But I would want to get Lara on the podcast if I'm making an episode about it, but that girlie won't join me. Maybe I should just take the hint. Anyway, back to Kiki's Delivery Service. Jeez, I'm going off topic. This is going to be a long episode since I didn't get to talk about what I want, whatever. So, I pretty much wrote down a synopsis of what I think happens, but I don't want to just like describe the movie, so I'll go through it like really quickly, I guess, reading out some of the notes I made, and then I'll go into like my thoughts and ideas and like the main stuff that I actually want to talk about. But yeah, so at the beginning of the movie, we start with Kiki laying in the field and she's listening to like the weather on the radio, which is like not foreshadowing because literally like in the next couple scenes, it's all like, oh, she wants to like leave because she's 13 now, so she can like go become a witch in like a proper town, right? Which is what she does. She goes to do that, and her parents love and support her. Quote saying, when she says she doesn't want to wear black, her mum was all like, it doesn't matter what color your dress is. What matters is your heart inside. And then her mom also says, follow your heart and keep on smiling. And her dad says, you can always come back if things don't work out, which illustrates that she has like a family home that's very supportive and like won't care if like she messes up or if she needs to come back. Like she always has a safe home base to come back to. But when I was doing a little bit of research for Kiki's Silvery Service, a couple of the main themes is like maturity and like modern and old and like just growing up in general, going from like a child to like more of a teenager. Kind of, and this is like perpetuated with this bit because like she's leaving her like safe little area, which you could say is childhood, to go out into like the wider world, and it's uncomfortable and it's messy, just how adolescence is. But anyway, going on, she eventually finds a town. Well, she finds a town, but like Gigi's all like, "Nah, fam, this isn't it. Like, why don't we find somewhere else?" But she's like, "Nah, I'm gonna make this my thing." And this also comes up that I wrote later. I was like, there's like a thing of like expectation versus reality. Like we all have an expectation for a certain situation, maybe for a person. I feel like expectations for people are like particularly bad um on ourselves, not on like the people, because like when you have high expectations for people and like or just expectations in general and they don't meet it, then you're the one who inevitably gets like upset and sad because it wasn't like you thought it was going to be and you almost feel betrayed, which I think is very good, a very lovely theme because it kind of shows it to the audience like, look, guys, like stuff isn't going to work out how you thought it was going to work out, and that's okay. All we got to do is like move along and like live our lives, right? And then we get the iconic banger when when she's on the broom and she's like on the way to the town, a town with an ocean view. Oh, that song goes hard. It's so good. There's like there's like iconic Studio Ghibli songs. Like you have Life's Merry-Go-Round. You have what's that one from Spirited Away? It's like One Summer Day or something. But yeah, like songs like that are just iconic. Like you play them and all the Studio Ghibli fans will start crying. But yeah. And then you also get I really like the song. I didn't know what it was, but it's like Rogue no Dengon, which is like it like rogue like a rogue message or messages rogue, I don't know, but that one's a really good song and apparently was made in like 1975 by I'm gonna have to pull up the thing on I now. Wow, I'm so bummy. A Message of Rogue, yeah, it's made in 1975 by Yumi Adai, and it was her first single uh to enter the Oricon single charts. Yeah, so I guess it might be well known by Japanese people, which might have been like a bit of like a nostalgia for any like the parents who are watching the movie with their kids at the time. Um, and also and then we get the iconic like bit when she first meets Tombo, and he helps her like get away from the police. And then he's all like, "Yeah, please show me your broom, broski, or a real witch." And she's like, "Just leave me alone." And then she gets annoyed because he doesn't introduce himself properly. Like, which also adheres to the whole theme that like she's a bit old fashioned, and he even says that she's like, "Oh, he's all like he's talking like my grandma," and she's like, "Ugh." Like which like I said, adheres to like the themes of like old and new, you know what I mean? So she came like fresh out of home, so she's still like talking like her parents might would and doing things like her parents would, stuff like that. And she also lived with her grandma. Her grandma was like in the very beginning. And so then you also see that she does have like the like maybe typical teenage girl desires, because when she walks like past one of the shops, she sees like really pretty red shoes and she's like, ah, she's like thinking about how she wants like to wear like pretty things, and all she has is like this one black dress. Like she doesn't have any other outfits in the play, which also shows how she has like the lack of luxury like the other girls that like Tombo's friends like hang out with and stuff. which I think is interesting because she has to kind of deal with that. Like that doesn't really ever get like resolved. Like she's like a big glow up or anything. Um, then we have like a string of deliveries where she has to deliver the present that looks like Gigi to that woman's nephew, and she has to deliver like a pie or something. Yeah, she has to. Well, that's a different thing. Anyway, but she has to like later on she has to like help this woman deliver this pie to her granddaughter, and but then but she gets invited to Tombo's party, and she's like, oh, which one should I choose? But it shows that she's kind because she still chose to do the delivery, and in the end, she couldn't make it to Tombo's party, and that's how she ended up getting ill. She put all this effort for this woman's granddaughter who literally didn't even care. She was like, oh, I hate my grandma's pies. Ugh. Right? Um, but despite, well, she obviously didn't know that her granddaughter would be like a bad, but despite this, she still put like all her energy into helping that woman, even missing her party, which shows that she's quite selfless. Then she gets sick, and this is one that I always like making this point for literally anything I write. In all my English essays, I often write this. I write how like da da da. The writer does this to show us like a physical symbol of this character's, I don't know, mental attachment to this. But then they also do they show how mentally that this character da 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 is attached to da da da, right? And the same thing happens to Kiki's delivery service because she gets like ill, like sick from being outside in the rain, um, meaning that she can't do anything. But then later in the play, she has she like her mental health like goes a bit down. It like well, not deteriorates. Just she just gets a bit sad. Um, because she actually I don't know why she gets actually. No, I do know why. Because it was like right after the scene with like when Tombo shows her the flying bike, and then she actually makes the flying bike fly, and then Tombo's friends come over and are like, "Ah, oh, Tombo, come look at like the blimp thingy with us," and then she's like, oh, I don't really want to do that. I don't really want to hang out with like those people." But yeah, so it shows that when she also becomes physically ill, that also affects her ability to like do her job or oh yeah, do her job, which is like delivering stuff and being like a witch and things like that. It shows to the audience that like yeah, you need to be like mentally well as physically well in order to like live and exist. And if you aren't, then you should take a break. Because she ends up taking a break and going into the countryside with the woman who helped her when in Gigi's like little bit when they have to deliver the thing, and she like takes a break, and it's actually quite refreshing. And again, it shows the importance of taking a break and like valuing yourself to the audience, which is also quite important in like adolescence as well, and like just growing up. Like as much as you want to like do a bunch of things and keep like it's very important to like rest. Like you don't have to be full throttle all the time. Um, and then she also loses the ability to talk to Gigi, which I didn't know. I thought everyone could hear Gigi. I didn't realize that she's the only person who could talk to Gigi. Um, then everything in the movie is quite slow. I mean, I have a thing with this. Like some of my favorite shows are really slow, and then like towards the end, or like in the middle, it just gets like there's like so much happening. It's like bam, bam, bam. And then like when I suggest it to my friends, they're all like, "Angie, this is so boring," and I'm like, "No, guys, just no," because I didn't think it was boring, but that's just me. But that's just me. And I don't think I have a long attention span either, so I don't know why. Who knows? And then in the last 10 minutes of the movie, because I literally was looking at the time, that's when Tombo gets like trapped on the blimp, and despite everything, using her own willpower, her magic comes back, and she's able to like save him at literally like the very last minute. And so I wrote a note about the grandma made a cake for Kiki, which was really pretty, and I was like, maybe one day I'll remake it because if you guys didn't know, I like bake. I really enjoyed baking. I haven't been doing it as much nowadays because I'm busier because exams and GCSEs and stuff. And I usually made like cakes for my church, but with COVID, I couldn't go to church, so there was no point in making cake if no one was gonna eat it, or like just baked goods in general. But either way, I have a lot of fun baking. I feel like I'm just very controlling when it comes to it, which is I'm not very good at baking with other people. But yeah, so we get like she saves him, it's all good, like woo, end of the day, everything's alright, and that's pretty much the end. It's a pretty simple plot. Not much really happens, it's just more about like the progression of Kiki's like mental state throughout the entire play, which I quite liked, quite simple. And I did my oh, it's not really research, it's just a bit mid. Anyway, so the runtime is an hour 42 minutes, came out in 1989. And according to Miyazaki, the movie portrays the gulf between independence and reliance in Japanese teenage girls. Mm, and he's the director. Dang, I had some of the last technical difficulties of my life. Now I've got to speedrun this on my data. Not speedrun it. I've been talking for a while. Like I feel like I take up half these episodes take up like just me talking about the synopsis, but whatever. Um, and doesn't get people to watch it because I'm just telling you what it is. But anyway, back onto this. When she gets her magic back, like right at the very end, it's still not like perfect. It's not like how it was at the beginning of the story. It's like still a bit weak, still a bit messy. Like she still can't control it the way she wants to control it, which is important because it's not like da da da. She goes through all this stuff and now like bam at the end she's perfect and it's fine. That's the resolution. Like it was still messy and I appreciate that. And like there was foreshadowing of the clock tower because at the beginning she's like, "Oh, it's such a beautiful clock tower," and at the end that becomes like the place which sets up her expectations, being like, "Beautiful clock tower, beautiful town. This town will be easy. It'll be perfect. Everything will be fine." And at the end, a combination of all like those ideas of it being perfect but not perfect come together at the very end when she has to save Tombo. Like I can't remember if he's dangling off the clock tower at that point in time or if he's still on the blimp. But yeah, like it all comes down at the clock tower basically. And like they float down together, and like everyone's like, "Wow, you saved him!" But something I really didn't like as well. I mean, maybe that was on purpose. You didn't really get to learn about the girl who like was the artist who lived in the woods. Like she was just there, and like I kind of wanted to know more about her because I feel like almost in a way she was kind of like Kiki's ideal teenager. Like she was either a teenager or a young adult, um, from her physique, but like we don't get to know very much about her. And I'd like to, I really would. But oh, then I have a piece of paper that I wrote. Because I was bored and I was like, right. So Kiki's delivery service made my brain tingly. That's what I wrote. Because for me, an indicator of whether like it sounds dumb, but it's I know what I'm talking about. This is scientifically proven. I've decided. I didn't do any research, but it's proven. Whenever my brain gets like like the back of my head will like tense and like tighten up, and then like will spread to the rest of my head. That's when I know a show is good. It happened with Haikyuu. It happened with Kiki's Delivery Service. It happened like House Moving Castle. It happened with like Belle. Like since I just watched it, like my brain. Oh, it happened with the JJK Zero movie. It like almost feels like and it's also like I won't breathe. It's like how I mean, I didn't think I was real, but you know, like how like movies and TV shows now when it's like I don't feel like they emphasize it more. If I was to write like a piece of media, I would emphasize it. But like when like the main character or something's around their crush, they'll like stop breathing. And then when their crush goes away, they'll like be like, what? What just happened? You know? That happens with me, but for movies and stuff I watch and also for like people I like. But we're not going to talk about that because yeah, it's enough. But yeah, it's like I just forget how to breathe, and I stop breathing, and then once like the excitement or the climax of the thing is over, I'm just like, jeez, what? Um, but yeah, Kiki's Delivery Service made me feel like that. Maybe in like a couple of years, I'll like revise my choices. It's like some of my favorite K dramas when I first started watching K dramas. Like nowadays, I'm just like, was it really that good though? Mm-mm. Except for Vincenzo. Like I didn't watch that like ages ago. I watched that fairly recently, but that is a stunner. Always on top. Love Vincenzo. Um, what else? Oh, Chenzo. I can't remember. I think my friends are angry at me because I say Vincenzo, not Vincenzo. Well, whatever. Um, then I wrote Kiki is not a manic pixie dream girl. Her conflict is internal at the beginning. I already said this pretty much. Um, but yeah, I mean, you can say that about any character. There are lots of characters that aren't manic pixie dream girls. And I appreciate that. I love well written women, female characters, girls, things like that, because it makes better representation, and better representation leads to destigmatization. and to change the expectations of the public in general of how women should be or how a minority should be. But anyway, um, I really enjoyed talking about Kiki's Delivery Service. I do wonder what I'll talk about next time. I might rewatch Belle. I do an episode on that. I might rewatch something else. I keep rewatching Muggle Stray Dogs, but I don't think I'm gonna do an episode of it. Again, it's long. And I just be like, oh my gosh, I love this character, but actually I love this character and I love this character and this character's so cool and I love this character's powers. I don't think I talk seriously about it unless I get like a friend on so we can like center talk about something. Or you might just want to hear us talk about our favorite characters in Muggle Stray Dogs or something like that. But I doubt you do. But anyway, thank you so much for listening. I had a lot of fun talking about it. I don't know if I made enough points, but I feel like I made my points throughout rather than like just a big point dump at the end. But yeah, thank you for listening. So anyway,
Tranquility Base
bye.
here. The Eagle has landed.